Hey, paper canisters. There was recently a situation at my work where an employee threatened another employee with assault. And the only reason I'm talking about this is one, because workplace violence is never okay. But the other thing is through all of this, we've all been hearing about how the person who threatened the other employee with assault was like, oh, well, I grew up in a home where they spoke by yelling. They communicated by yelling at each other. So I just have all this trauma. And it got me thinking about when I was younger. I had a friend who was like so deep into the mental health community because she had like BPD and bipolar and all this other crap, and she was like literally insufferable with it. And one of the things she said is, you need to stop comparing traumas, because all it's doing is invalidating your trauma, and it invalidates their trauma, because their trauma, even though it might not seem as serious, is still serious trauma. And I'm gonna say, I think this psychobabble bullshit is bullshit. Because someone just getting yelled at as a child is not the same as someone who is beaten, sexually abused, psychologically abused, or anything else like that. Like, it is literally insane to say, oh, well, their trauma is just as valid. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because their trauma is not the same level. And the fact that we're treating every trauma like it's super serious and like super big and everything else like that is one of the problems. You being yelled at as a child by your parents is not the same as somebody who was beaten to the point of needing to go to the hospital, but their parents not taking them because they didn't want CPS involved again. Your trauma of being yelled at as a child is not the same as someone who was in and out of foster care until they finally said, fuck it, I'm not going back. Okay? Your trauma is not the same as someone who was sexually assaulted by their parent or step-parent or anything like that. So no, your trauma is not just as valid as somebody else's trauma. And the fact that people want to justify that for saying, oh, well, it was just a trauma response to say that I didn't really mean I was going to assault you. Like, the fact that I hear that around my workplace, like, no. The fact that you think that because you were yelled at as a child means you can go and, like, verbally threaten people, but other people who dealt with worse shit can't or do not, makes me wonder if it's an excuse, because that's not appropriate.